Episode 8: The Risk Matrix. Automated Intelligence. Observe, position, evolve. Every technological leap in human history has created two outcomes: capability and consequence. Fire enabled civilization. It also enabled destruction. Industrial machinery increased production. It also enabled mechanized warfare. Nuclear physics illuminated the atom. It also produced weapons of unprecedented scale. Artificial intelligence follows the same pattern. It amplifies capacity, and amplification increases impact, both constructive and destructive. This is the risk matrix. Risk is not catastrophe. Risk is probability multiplied by consequence. The greater the scale of a system, the greater the consequence of misuse. Artificial intelligence operates at scale. It processes information globally. It integrates into infrastructure. It accelerates decision-making. Therefore, its risks are not localized. They are systemic. Understanding risk is not pessimism. It is strategic awareness. Military systems have always adopted technological advancement. Artificial intelligence introduces autonomous capability. Drones capable of navigation without direct human control. Target recognition systems trained on vast datasets. Automated defense response mechanisms reacting in milliseconds. The concern is not intelligence itself, it is delegation. When decision-making moves from human deliberation to algorithmic response, speed increases, but speed reduces deliberation. The ethical question becomes, at what point should lethal authority remain human? Autonomy increases efficiency, but it also increases the need for oversight. The risk is not inevitability of misuse. It is diffusion of responsibility. When systems act independently, accountability must be clearly defined. Artificial intelligence can now generate hyper-realistic images, voices, and videos. Deepfakes challenge verification. Audio can be replicated. Faces can be synthesized. Events can be fabricated convincingly. In a digital society, trust depends on authenticity. If authenticity becomes uncertain, informational stability weakens. The danger is not entertainment manipulation. It is erosion of shared reality. When citizens cannot distinguish authentic evidence from synthetic fabrication, confidence declines. Institutions depend on trust. Markets depend on trust. Democracies depend on trust. A solution is not technological prohibition. It is verification infrastructure, digital watermarking, authentication protocols, media literacy. Awareness reduces vulnerability. Information has always shaped power. Artificial intelligence increases the speed and scale of content generation. Automated systems can produce persuasive narratives rapidly. Recommendation algorithms amplify emotionally engaging content, not necessarily accurate content. The issue is not that AI creates misinformation alone. Humans create misinformation. AI scales it. When scale increases, impact multiplies. The risk is cognitive overload. When individuals are exposed to constant conflicting information, discernment becomes fatigued. Fatigue reduces critical thinking. Reduced critical thinking increases susceptibility. The response is not censorship as a default solution. It is improved transparency, algorithmic accountability, critical reasoning skills, resilient information ecosystems. Automation increases productivity, but productivity does not distribute evenly. Certain roles become obsolete. Others emerge. Transitions create friction. History shows that technological shifts displace some labor categories before new ones stabilize. Artificial intelligence accelerates this cycle. Displacement without reskilling creates instability. Reskilling requires access. Education systems must adapt. Governments must anticipate transition. Organizations must invest in workforce transformation. The risk is not automation itself. It is unmanaged transition. When adaptation lags behind innovation, inequality expands. Managing transition becomes as important as innovation. Artificial intelligence models require significant computational resources, large data sets, extensive infrastructure. As a result, AI capability tends to concentrate among entities with capital and technical expertise. Centralization creates efficiency, but it also creates asymmetry. If advanced AI capabilities are controlled by a small number of organizations, influence consolidates. Infrastructure becomes dependent on few providers. Dependency reduces redundancy. Redundancy increases resilience. The challenge is balance. Open research versus controlled deployment. Innovation versus oversight. Speed versus governance. Centralization is not inherently malicious, but concentration requires transparency, and transparency requires accountability. Many fear artificial intelligence as a singular catastrophic force, but most risks are incremental. Gradual erosion of trust, gradual displacement of labor, gradual consolidation of power. Systemic risks rarely appear suddenly. They accumulate, they compound, and because they compound slowly, they are often underestimated. Risk management requires anticipation, not reaction. Artificial intelligence does not design its own objectives. Humans define them. Humans deploy them. Humans regulate them. Therefore, responsibility remains human. Technology reflects intention. If objectives prioritize short-term gain over long-term stability, risks expand. If objectives integrate ethics, oversight, and accountability, resilience increases. The risk matrix is not an external threat. It is a mirror of human governance capacity. Innovation drives progress. Safety ensures sustainability. Excessive restriction can suppress innovation. Unrestricted acceleration can amplify harm. The balance requires collaboration between technologists, policymakers, ethicists, economists, and informed citizens. The automated era requires multidisciplinary intelligence. No single institution can manage systemic AI risk alone. Distributed oversight increases resilience. The purpose of analyzing risk is not fear, it is preparedness. Autonomous systems require oversight. Synthetic media requires verification. Economic transitions require adaptation. Centralized infrastructure requires accountability. The future is not predetermined. It is influenced by governance choices. Risk increases when awareness decreases. Risk decreases when responsibility increases. Artificial intelligence amplifies power. Amplified power magnifies consequence. But consequence is not destiny. It is shaped by design, by policy, by awareness. The risk matrix is not a prophecy. It is a framework, a map of potential vulnerabilities. And maps are tools. Tools guide navigation. They do not dictate outcome. The automated age demands maturity. clarity. Responsibility. Human intelligence remains the final authority. The question is not whether risk exists. It does. The question is whether humanity will manage it wisely. This is AION. Observe, assess, act responsibly, evolve.